You think the discard was the end of our story. You think me walking away was the cruelest part. You've missed the point entirely. The discard wasn't the mission. The mission, my whole reason for being with you, was your destruction. Leaving was just paperwork, closing a file. But breaking you was the art. Feeling worthless wasn't a side effect of our breakup. It was the whole point. I couldn't just leave you. I had to annihilate your sense of self first. And now I'm going to tell you why. You're replaying the last few days, our final conversation, the dead look in my eyes. You're searching for a reason, something you did wrong, a moment where it all turned. You're looking in the wrong place. The end was decided long before you ever saw it coming. You think in terms of relationships, of connection and loss. I don't. I think in terms of supply, utility, and power. For someone like me, a relationship isn't a partnership. It's a project. And every project has an objective. My objective wasn't to love you, but to consume you. I needed to see my own greatness reflected in your eyes. I fed on your admiration. But the real goal was to confirm my superiority by completely subjugating you. The truth is far more strategic. I left because your utility ran out, but I couldn't just discard you while you still had a shred of self-worth. That had to be drained first, leaving an empty shell. Why? Because a person with self-esteem might recover. They might rebuild, and their success would challenge my narrative, the one where I'm superior. No, my plan required leaving you in ruins, convinced that your brokenness was your own doing. Your misery wasn't an unfortunate side effect. It was my victory lap. Remember the beginning, the intensity, the focus, how I made you feel like you were the only person in the world. You called it love bombing. I called it reconnaissance. That initial phase, which you saw as this deep, once-in-a-lifetime connection, was really just a meticulous data-gathering operation. While you were falling in love, I was taking notes. I became an expert on you. I studied your insecurities, your childhood wounds, your deepest fears, and your fragile hopes. Every secret you whispered in the dark, every vulnerability you bravely shared, I cataloged every single one. Think of it as an inventory of your flaws. While you saw a supportive partner listening to your soul, I was a strategist identifying weak points to exploit later. You handed me the very weapons I would one day turn against you, and you thought you were building a bridge of trust. The idealization phase was never about putting you on a pedestal. It was about getting you to lower your defenses, to open the gates, and to hand me the blueprint to your own demolition. I needed you to trust me completely. That way, when I started poisoning your self-perception, the poison would be delivered by the hand you trusted most, mine. You felt seen, didn't you? Understood like never before. But you weren't seen as a partner. You were seen as a target. The shift from idealizing you to devaluing you is never a sudden jolt. It's a slow, creeping erosion, like water wearing down a stone. It is always a calculated campaign, and the tools for it come directly from that secret ledger I keep. It starts with a backhanded compliment, a little criticism disguised as a joke or concern. I might say, "You're so passionate, but don't you think it sometimes makes you seem a little unstable?" I'm planting a seed of doubt. If you react, you're too sensitive. This is gaslighting at its most artistic. Then the affection starts to disappear. The physical distance, the texts that go unanswered, the sudden cold shoulder. This is designed to create confusion and desperation. You start scrambling, trying to figure out what you did wrong. You work harder and harder to please me, to win back the approval I am purposefully withholding. You've become a participant in your own devaluation, trying to prove your worth to the very person who is systematically stripping it away. I'll use the silent treatment, making you feel invisible. I'll compare you to others to make sure you feel insecure. Every action is a small, deliberate chip at the foundation of your self-worth. You're dismantled, piece by piece, until you're a hollowed-out version of yourself, fully dependent on me to feel anything at all. For the devaluation to really work, I have to control your reality. Your friends and family, they're a threat. They remember who you were before me, and they might point out what I'm doing. So, they have to be neutralized. I'll start by planting little seeds of distrust. I frame my manipulation as protection. I am the only one who truly loves you. Everyone else is a threat to us. Slowly I create rifts. I'll manufacture drama around social events, making it so much easier for you to just stay home with me. Guilt is a powerful leash. Over time, your support system withers. You become disconnected from anyone who could give you a reality check. My voice becomes your inner voice. My criticisms become your self-doubt. My judgments become your truths. Once you're isolated, my control is absolute. Isolation and devaluation work together to create what I call the conditioning chamber. This is where your spirit is finally broken. Inside this chamber, you're put through a relentless cycle of intermittent reinforcement. I'll switch between being cold and devaluing, and then suddenly give you brief flashes of the old me. This is a deliberate tactic. Just when you're at your breaking point, I'll offer a crumb of affection. This is how a trauma bond is forged. Your brain, starved for the dopamine rush from the early days, latches onto these moments, making you forget the weeks of misery that came before. You live in a mental fog, torn between two realities. You start to blame yourself. You take responsibility for my cruelty because the alternative is just too terrifying to face. And that is the critical goal, to make you believe that you are the problem. Your self-esteem plummets. Your pain is my supply. It validates my entire sense of self. Once you are fully conditioned to believe in your own inadequacy, my project is almost complete. If this confession feels chillingly familiar, if you recognize the walls of this conditioning chamber, it's because you've been a subject in this very experiment. Understanding the game is the first step to reclaiming your power. There are resources that decode this playbook, that lay bare these strategies. Click the link in the description below to arm yourself with knowledge. It is the only weapon against an enemy you were conditioned to never see. The discard isn't an emotional breakup. It's a termination of service. It happens for one of two reasons. Either you are so completely broken that you no longer provide any satisfying supply, or you've started to see through the act and are no longer easy to control. When the moment comes, it's sudden, cold, and brutal. I might become openly hostile, dropping the charming facade entirely. All those flaws from my secret ledger are now weaponized for a final, devastating blow. I'll tell you that you were the problem all along, that I never truly loved you. I will rewrite our entire history to make you the villain and me the long-suffering victim. This final cruelty is designed to inflict the maximum possible damage. My goal is to leave you so shattered that you believe you're incapable of recovery. I need your final memory of us to be one of your own profound failure. Your tears, your confusion, your shattered self-worth, that's my trophy. I set out to break you, and I succeeded. The discard isn't just about leaving, it's about erasing you. You might think the discard is the final, merciful end. That's another one of your misconceptions. I rarely close a door for good. I prefer to leave it cracked open. You might have heard it called hoovering. It's a game of maintenance and control. Weeks or months after I've shattered your world, I might send a text. Hey, was just thinking about you. This isn't a sentimental gesture, it's a test. I'm checking to see if the conditioning is still in place. If you respond with anger, I get a nice hit of supply. If you respond with longing, I get an ego boost, knowing I still have power over you. The goal is to keep you on the hook, to stop you from ever fully healing. Your recovery is a threat to my victory. If you rebuild your life and find happiness, you challenge the story that you were the flawed one. I try to keep you in a state of suspended animation, always hoping for a reconciliation that will never actually happen in a healthy way. For me, the game is never truly over. So now you see, don't you? It was never about us. It was never about love or a future. It was always only about me. It was about filling a profound emptiness inside myself by draining the very life out of you. It was about proving my own existence by erasing yours. I am built on a foundation of deep insecurity. To feel strong, I must make you feel weak. To feel valuable, I must make you feel worthless. To feel alive, I have to watch a part of you die. Your destruction wasn't collateral damage. It was the entire point. Your annihilation is my masterpiece. Your pain is the monument to my power. You think you lost a relationship. What you don't understand is that for me, this was never a relationship at all. It was a hunt, and I am, as always, the victorious hunter, walking away from the kill without a second glance.